Finally, we have arrived at the last two sentences of part 1. Cuncta genus hominum delere est meum consilium, nam mihi gratum non iam est. That is the entirety of the first sentence. I couldn't help while I was reading but to notice this word nam. Nam is a conjunction, and conjunctions usually indicate that right before it is the end of an idea, and right after it is the start of a new idea. So as soon as that popped out at me, I understood how this sentence with basically two verbs had to be divided into half. Delere, in the first part of the sentence, is an infinitive, and when you translate it, you'll want to translate it as to destroy. Infinitives have the ability to be used like a noun, and infinitives can also have direct objects. What is it that you're going to destroy? So somewhere in this sentence, whether it's cunctum, genus, hominum, or consilium, one of those words is the direct object of destroy. Est is my main verb. Est is the present tense form of to be with a third person singular subject. One of these words, cunctum, genus, hominum, or consilium, is going to be serving as the subject. But which word, and how are we supposed to figure that out? Cunctum is actually an adjective, so it's meant to describe something. Genus appears to be in the nominative case because it ends with us. If you look at the vocabulary list, and we've seen this word several times now, genus, generis, is a third declension neuter noun, which means that this form can be a subject or a direct object. Hominum is from homo hominis, a third declension masculine or feminine noun. When I see the letters um on a third declension noun, that makes it genitive plural. Remember that genitive nouns work with the noun that comes in front of it or the noun that comes after it. Hominum does not have a noun to come after it, so it works with genus. Race of men. Race of men is to destroy. My plan, that's what meum consilium means. That's how you would have to translate that if you make race of men the subject and consilium the direct object. But when you look at the word for consilium on the vocabulary list, you should also note that it is a neuter noun. Consilium, consilii is second declension neuter, which means that this can be my subject or my direct object. If it's the subject, look at what the sentence could say. My plan is to destroy, and then we know what it is that we have to destroy. That makes a lot of sense. So why don't we work in that direction? Remember that nam is there to introduce the why clause. Why is it my plan to destroy? And we translate nam as for, and it goes in between the two ideas. We have the verb est again. And notice that there is one adjective here, gratum, which is in either the neuter or the masculine accusative singular form. I'm going to suggest that we make it in the neuter nominative singular to describe the subject. and that it is referring, in fact, to genus. Gratum is a special adjective because gratum means pleasing, and when something is pleasing, it means to be pleasing to someone, which means that it requires something in the dative case after it, and voila, we have the dative case. Remember that non jam means no longer. So if we're looking at word order, this is how we would start. Meum concilium est delere cunctum genus hominum. Nam est non jam gratum mihi. That's the word order that we want to use to get the correct translation for English. Now let's take a look at the final sentence in part 1. Numquam erit pax, nisi novum genus creabo, quod Deus timebit, et templa curabit. Filled with verbs, erit, creabo, timebit, curabit. I saw nisi, which is a conjunction. I saw quod, which either means because or is a relative pronoun. Either way, it's going to start a new clause. And I see the conjunction at. All of those conjunctions allow me to very neatly find my 4 small clauses. Now I'm going to focus on each clause. The first one is comprised of a nominative case noun and a form of the verb to be. Erit, with its eri, is in the future tense. Remember that the third person form of the verb to be can be translated by saying there will be. There will be numquam, never, pax. Why? Or why not? Nisi, unless. Creabo. Do you see that creabo ends with the letter O? O means that the subject is I. This is Jupiter talking. The B in front of the O makes it I in the future tense. Novum is intended to describe genus because genus is a neuter noun. Here in the accusative singular, it can't be nominative singular because my subject is I. And novum is a neuter accusative singular ending. Once we know what those two clauses say, we're ready to decide if quod should be translated as because or which. I'm going to let you make that choice. I think you'll be able to quickly determine which one makes more sense. If it is serving as a relative pronoun, that relative pronoun will be the subject of timebit, and it will also be the subject of curabit. If it's serving as a conjunction, then we're going to translate it as because, and we'll need to use he, she, or it as the subject of timebit and curabit. Deus and templa are clearly in the accusative case and have to be direct objects. Why is templa in the accusative case? Because templum, templi is a second declension neuter noun. Templa is its nominative or accusative plural form. My verb, curabit, ends with a T, which means my subject has to be singular. Templa is a plural subject, and that leaves only its plural accusative form to deal with. So deos and templa are direct objects of each of those verbs. The biggest question is, should you translate quod as because, or should you translate it as which? And if you translate it as which, what is its antecedent? You have to know, because you have to put that relative clause immediately after the noun that is its antecedent. Good luck with that. We'll let you know how you did. You are now well equipped to translate all sentences in part 1. You will also have the option to listen to instruction for all of the sentences in part 2 and other succeeding parts. It will be there for you. If you choose not to use it, that's fine, but it is there to help you go through things.